Probably wondering why some players drop consistent 20 kill games, all while you're stuck against the same 3 stack masters and Preds every single game. The reality of this is a skill-based issue, and reality is really just a skill-based matchmaking problem. If you're playing with your friends and you're just kind of 3 stacking against anybody in general, chances are is that you're going to be put in a higher skill level lobby because Respawn naturally assumes that you have a better communication and a combat skill. The little Jimmy that's just left his 9 to 5 and just honestly is just as crack as some of those Preds and Masters. Recent trends, there has been a lot of streamers and influencers that started playing solo in Apex Legends. The real reason why, if you actually study their gameplay and realize who they are playing against, is because they have a lower skill gap when it comes down to them soloing than them 3 stacking against other players. Meaning that if they have a higher chance of playing against casual and new players playing solo than they do if they 3 stack. In other words, by playing with solo, they are no longer playing against only predators, but they are actually able to play against all levels, and really because of their elo is much less. Elo is essentially the rating that is determined based on your win, losses, the ratio of how many games you have played so far, and how many kills you have gotten per game. Now this is a term that's really much used in League of Legends, not so much on Apex Legends, but at the end of the day, the skill-based matchmaking system really uses the same exact concept. You take for example a solo player who's playing with randoms, even though you might get 20 kills in a single game as an individual, but your teammates are getting 1 or 2 kills each, the chances is that your elo is much lower than a 3-stack Pred team who scores a total of 45 kills he has a 3-stack. Meaning that you will continue to play at a much lower lobby until the game eventually runs out of higher level players for them to put against those Pred team. That is how a lot of your popular streamers and a lot of just general YouTubers make videos where they're playing against quite a bit of level 100 and below in order for them to, instead of playing against consistent masters and Pred teams like you are. Now, I'm not saying that every single one of us are pretty much just only playing against bot lobbies, because half the time you're still going to have a lot of masters in your lobbies, you're still going to have a lot of predators in your lobbies, but at the end of the day you're going to have a lot more of lower level lobbies than if you were to 3-stack all the time. The question is going to come down to, should I just at the end of the day stop playing with my friends and really just focus on playing with myself? And honestly the answer to that is no. If you enjoy playing with your friends and that is the way that you enjoy playing the game, then do it. Now you will have some really rough times where if you're just a solo in bronze or even a silver player and that's what your team consists of, you're still going to be playing against some Preds and even master teammates against the other 3 stacks, because like I said, Respawn naturally assumes that you're a higher skill level team based on the communication and just the general perspective of your game style. So at the end of the day, it really comes down to what you feel comfortable with. If you're no longer having fun playing with the 3 stack, then I would tell you to highly consider playing is really just random dropping, playing with random other players, and really communicating in their chat. Now, Respawn has definitely said that they have been working on the skill-based matchmaking system since back in Season 15, and they should be releasing that in the near future. I have seen quite a bit of a difference between my game style when I used to 3-stack non-stop every single game to what it is now. Really because my KD has, in the past has been roughly anywhere between a 2.5 to a 3.0, and this season by me just simply soloing, I have anywhere between a 3.5 to a 4.0 KD. So I can tell you for a fact that if you solo queue and you play by yourself with other randoms, you have a higher chance of getting a little bit lower lobbies and more balanced teammates than if you were to 3 stacks and where you only play against predators and masters. So at the end of the day, take this with a grain of salt and really analyze what game style you prefer. If you're still going to be able to enjoy this game with your friends, then by all means continue playing with your friends. But if you guys are having a horrible time and you honestly don't longer enjoy playing this game because of how high the skill gap is between you and the other 3 stacks, then I would definitely consider for you guys to kind of possibly divide yourself and just try to play solo or find another game. Because chances are until Respawn fixes this issue, you will be put only against Masters and Preds, or even just anywhere between Diamonds all the way up to Predators, because that's mostly who the individuals are that 3 stacks this game. Now, if you don't agree with me, feel free to go down in the comment section. Let me know really what you believe the skill-based matchmaking is based on. Now, I stated that this is more based on ELO, which is more consistent of the system that League of Legends and other popular games utilize. League of Legends might not particularly be similar to Apex Legends, but in a lot of the concept of the pubs type of gameplay, it is very similar when it comes down to calculating who you're going to be playing against. At the end of the day, many of us will abuse this and really use it to our advantage in order for us to receive badges. Now, for example, for me, I haven't gotten my 20 kill badge in any single one of my gameplays or any single one of my champions yet. But I have gotten 4K badges in almost every single one of my champions. So it really comes down to what you choose to do. If this is something that bothers you, then feel free to write to Respawn, let them know the current issue the game has, which I am sure they are fully aware of it. Now, some other creators have spoken about the different buckets that Respawn's put each individual players into prior to actually putting it into the game. Now, these buckets are supposed to illustrate the levels, the skills, and how much time you spend on the game. And the issue is that at the pubs aspect of things, some of us are having a harder time than some other, where we are playing only against masses and preds, while some of us are able to play against casuals and noobs in a sense, mostly because we don't spend 12 hours a day on the game. Some of us come in and play anywhere between 2 to 3 hours a day, and even though we are only playing those amounts, we are still very skilled because we have been playing games ever since we were 5 years old. Now, my question to you is, do you believe that the games nowadays should have a skill-based matchmaking system? Meaning that if you do spend XYZ hours a day, and if you do are a master or predator, you should only play against masters and predators? Or do you believe that the system should be based on just your lag spike? Meaning that if you live on the west coast of the United States, then you should only play against people on the west coast and not be playing with people overseas or even the east coast, meaning that the servers are not going to beat trash. At the end of the game, at the end of the day, the game is going to focus more on your location and really your overall gameplay experience rather than your skill-based matchmaking. That is possibly my best perspective of the game. The game should not be based on just simply putting you in a lobby to please the 9 to 5 Joes or please the 12-year-old who just is upset because he got wrecked by a predator or master. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to hit the thumbs up, and ultimately if I brought value to you guys through this video or in the video, don't forget to hit the subscribe icon. I upload videos every single day and my goal is really to help you guys out with Apex Legends.